Hey guys, what's up, it's Cyclone here, and today we're going to be counting down my top 10 favorite secondary weapons in Warframe. Now, again, completely opinionated video. This is not like the best weapons in the game or anything. These are just weapons that I gravitate to a lot in the game, and I don't necessarily care about how much damage they dealt. That was a lot of the feedback that I got in the top 10 primary weapons videos, like, hey, why are you using M Prime when you're testing these weapons out? And two responses to that there. One, these are just weapons that I like to use, and two, I don't play a game where I don't use something that is going to debuff the enemies in some way. Like, I don't ever not use my Loki invisibility or my Nova M Prime. So, you know what, for the sake of this video, I'll use Wobbin for you guys, just so I don't get any of those comments, but that's the mindset I'm in whenever I'm using these weapons, is that I'm not necessarily playing a game where I'm not debuffing my enemies in some way, shape, or form. It's a co-op game, so I always have that option, unless I'm playing solo, which isn't a lot of the time because I stream, I play with viewers, and all that good stuff. So, jumping straight into the video, number 10 is the Sonic Core. Now, this is a weird choice because this isn't necessarily your high-level enemy killer, right? So if we go ahead and we spawn in a Heavy Gunner, we make just one of them, and then we spawn them at level 145. It'll take you definitely a few shots to kill this guy, but the special effects with the Sonic Core, I feel, outweigh the neglected damage that this weapon actually has. So you can shoot him, you know, his armor's going to get stripped with every, you know, few shots, and you're going to deal a little bit of damage to him, but it's not going to be like a super damaging weapon. You see, we're through a full magazine already, 15 shots, and we've only took down a quarter of his health, so it's not really a damage dealing weapon. If you bring something like Nova's M Prime or Banshee with her sonar or something like that there, obviously this weapon's going to be great because it's like a splash damage weapon, and you're going to hit those sonar spots. You're going to be hitting multiple enemies that have been primed by M Prime and all that good stuff there. You're going to be hitting that a lot. So it's going to be a great weapon for whenever you're using things like that there. But, you know, just as a really awesome, like, early star chart sort of killer weapon, you get this here as soon as match rank 5 or 4, I think. You know, you can build it pretty easy, and it doesn't take that much to, you know, put on it. Like, you can get a pretty decent build for this here with, like, free forming, you know what I mean? Just throw on your free Vs, throw on your main damage mods, Hornet Strike, Brawl Fusion, Lethal Torrent, and then your elements that you need if you have access to any at the time. Easy peasy, you know what I mean? So, you know, it's an alright weapon. It's not my go-to, but it's definitely great. Same with the next weapons that I'm about to show you guys, being the Act Magnus. Now, I really like these things simply because of how they look and how they play, not because of, you know, how much damage they deal. But the damage, not the damage, but the weapon build that we're going in with today is kind of weird, because you have Hornet Strike, Barrel Fusion, Lethal Torrent, rare mods, prime mods, so your prime target, Cracked Pistol, Gambit, Papillon Runs, Convulsion for your elements, and then you have your Hydraulic Crosshairs on here. So it's like a mixture of rare mods, common mods, all that good stuff. So let's just see how it plays out, right? So these are like a hybrid crit status type weapon. You could probably get a better build. You can get like a super awesome ribbon for this as well, guys. So that's another thing to keep in mind. And a lot of people were saying in the last video, hey, don't bother including ribbons in these videos because you shouldn't really be involving ribbons in top 10 videos. But I'm like, ribbons are a part of the game now, you know what I mean? They're just part of the game, and they're not going to go away anytime soon. So why would I not include the ribbon disposition and how good a you know, a ribbon might be? So it has a full disposition. I don't know why we can't see it right now, but you know, it is a pretty awesome, solid pair of pistols right here. So no reason not to pick it up. So moving on, I'm moving on to the Spear Prime, and the reason I'm using the Spear Prime is because I like having a stealth weapon on the list. Like, it wouldn't be a top 10 list, but like my top 10 most used weapons if I didn't have like a weapon of every type. So I have my early level killer, I have my fun weapons, and this is my stealth weapons right here, simply because they make no noise. Obviously, there's things in the game which would allow you to basically, you know, make any weapon in the game silent, like Hushed Invisibility, the augment mod for Loki, but if I don't want to use that augment mod, and I just want to, you know, kill things with a spear, have some cool throwing knives or whatever, the spear is my go-to, you know what I mean? Because you can throw on your Hydraulic Crosshairs. It's the exact same build as the Act Magnus build. And you get pretty much similar results, you know what I mean? It might not be the most damaging weapon in the game, but it's just cool. It's cool to have something like this here in your top 10 list of go-to secondary weapons, at least in my opinion. I don't know about you guys, but here you go. This is the build that I use for it. No ribbons or anything like that there. You can see the stats, 86.1% crit chance and 5.3 multiplier. Pretty solid, in my opinion, at least. So, I know you guys might not agree, but that's what I use. So, moving on, this is kind of a weird pick for me, because I don't necessarily gravitate towards these too much, but, you know, these are really solid weapons, and they're definitely some of my favorite secondary weapons, even though, like I said, I don't use them too much. So, just take a look at this damage, right? Just pay attention, alright? Look at this shit. See how fast this guy's dying? That's insane, and it's because of the status and all the elements that you can throw on this. So I'll just show you guys the builds. You could, you know, speed up the fire rate on it as well. You could charge attack it. There's a lot of different things you can do with this weapon. So for example, with charge attack, you can charge it up like this here, deal damage that way. Let's actually go ahead and see how much damage that deals to this guy if we did manage to charge attack him here. Let's see. Okay, he's already up in Bastille. Go ahead, do this. You hit him. You don't deal that much damage, so you're just better off, you know, firing away with your normal fire, and you deal a lot of damage. That's radiation, corrosive, and fire all on him. So that's like all the elements you could possibly need for the Grenadier faction on that one build, which is pretty insane. You know what I mean? So there's no reason not to pick this weapon up, in my opinion. It's free forma, super easy to build, super easy. It might be harder to use at the start of the game because you're losing out in that those puncture mods, or not the puncture mods, but the puncture stat, the slash stat, and the impact stat, which you know, could be seen as a positive or a negative for a newer player, but, you know, it's a super awesome weapon, and I recommend picking it up for just how cheap it is to build and how cheap it is to make a build for it, really. So, I guess moving on, we have one of my all-time favorites. Now, I've used this weapon ever since it came out, really. I was super excited to get this here whenever I first started playing, like the regular Marlock, and it's a weapon that I recommend for every single player who ever plays this game. But the Marlock, it's just a solid weapon. It's a solid revolver, and it's got a cool animation, and it's one of those, I would say, just one of those standout weapons. Like, it's iconic, you know what I mean? So if you're new to Warframe, pick this weapon up. You guys can see the damage that it's dealing. You know, you get the magazine on him, just keep on shooting him in the head like so, and then you're just gonna keep on going, and he's dead within 2 full magazines. Pretty easy peasy. You could obviously change the build up a little bit, let's say, for example, like maybe I wouldn't want to have on this prime heated charge. I put this here. I'd throw on my hydraulic crosshairs like so. That would up my crit chance, give me more sustained DPS. We roll forward, we simulate the bad guy again, do more or less the exact same thing, but this time, you know, we'll be critting more and more often. If he likes to go up, there we go, critting more and more often, and then that increases our damage like 2-fold right here. So, you know, we don't go through the entire 2 magazines, which is pretty awesome. So just go ahead and throw that there on. It's great, at least in my opinion. I love the Vicor Marlock. Not to mention that you also get the Syndicate proc effect, which will deal blast damage to any surrounding enemies once you get 2k XP. There's no reason not to pick this weapon up. Even the normal version of it, it's super awesome. Just a few stat differences in the damage, like you get more impact or something, I don't know. But it's a super awesome weapon, and I definitely recommend getting it. But moving on to one of my newer favorites, I'd say, the Pandeiro. Now, the Pandeiro, it takes a lot of work. 7 forma to make this thing good, but it's a crit build, and it's super awesome, and I recommend picking it up. Again, it's not the most damaging weapon in the game, but it's just fun to use, and that's what I'm trying to focus on here. The fun, how fun is it, how effective is it, shit like that, and that's what we're going to be testing. So you have 2 fires in this. You have the single shot, which you can see me using right now. You know, you can get red crits with that there, and you just keep on firing at him like so. You know, you'll eventually kill him because you're stripping armor. You got your slash procs, you have your crit and all that good stuff. It's an awesome weapon in general, just with the stats that it actually has. You just go like a basic crit build, pretty sure I already showed this, but now we have our charge shot, which more or less has the exact same stats, but has an increased fire rate and stuff. So that's your alt fire. You just kind of fan the hammer like you would with McCree in Overwatch. It's super cool. I love the alt fire because it allows you to just mow down like a full mob of infested or whatever, while you're playing like in Void Relics or something. So if you manage to land the headshots, you're going to get so much more sustained DPS, and you just murder him so quickly. You know, it's not even funny how fast this thing kills for the weapon, or the kind of weapon that it is. So go ahead and get this. I highly recommend it. It's great, it's super fun, and yeah, this thing will not let you down, at least in my opinion at all. So moving on, this is an unpopular opinion, but I love my sumo weapons, so this is my Aximati build. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the hydraulic crosshair build for it, just for sake of consistency and just using the corrosive damage and stuff. But let's go ahead. You'll notice that these are all crit builds and they kill these guys super fast. You can have like status builds and stuff with some of these weapons as well, and you'll get more effective results and stuff, but I'm more of a crit kind of guy, and I like sticking to my crit. And you kill these guys super quickly, you know what I mean? They die super fast for level 145 enemies, super duper quick. And it's just great, you know what I mean? So there's no reason, again, like I said, not to pick any of these weapons up. Even if these weapons don't necessarily appeal to you, you know, if you're a newer beginner player and you can get your hands on any of these weapons, I recommend getting them and then trying to copy the builds that I'm showing you guys in this video. They're super easy builds to put together, and they're super easy weapons to obtain, at least in my opinion. And you just shred enemies, especially this hero one once they go back up into the steel. Look how fast this guy is gonna die. You know what I mean? Of course, that's one full magazine, but look how fast he dies. Look how fast those things fire. Twin Grakatas are insane. You know, these things, they're kind of a meme in themselves in the Warframe community for a reason. They are a force to be reckoned with. Definitely go ahead and pick them up. They're great. Look at that. Now look, if that doesn't explain how badass they are, they got their own like little animation whenever you're standing in the arsenal, I don't know what does. So moving on to number 2, we have the axe stilettos right here. Now these things are great. These things are great. You can go with a hybrid build in these if you like. You can have the status mods on, but I just go full crit. Hydraulic crosshairs as usual. Go ahead, roll forward, simulate the bad boy, roll this out here. So the status on this weapon is super high. Super high, so you're gonna strip the armor pretty much no time and kill him within one magazine. These weapons are mental. Get them. Get them. We're gonna kill him twice. Get these weapons. There's no reason not to get these weapons. If you can get them, get them. Buy them off another player if you can't get them at this moment in time. Just get these weapons. I didn't get all headshots there, that's why he didn't die. But during the scene, definitely get your hands on them. It's crazy how good those weapons are. Now, moving on to the final secondary, the Yafuna Prime. Now this weapon is just a beast in itself. This weapon has 2 fire modes. You have like a shotgun fire, which is this here one, and then you also have your regular fire, which is like a kind of just like a normal bullet or a laser, I guess. If I just go ahead and change the energy color to, let's say, blue, so you guys can see it more appropriately. See, there we go. And we shoot. See the little laser come out. You'll also see them like split if I shoot them way out in the distance right there, because it's shooting 3 bullets at a time. So, you know, and same thing goes with the buckshot. You know, you have so many different pellets going out at the one time. It's kind of like a Sancti Tigris, right? But it's like a mini pocket Sancti Tigris, which is pretty cool. So this is a weirder build. It's more of a hybrid type thing. So you have your crit on here, and you also have your dual stats. You have 100% status for your buckshot, because the stats on here are different. So you have 100% on your buckshot, which is your shotgun, but you'll have 17.9 on your single fire, right? But you have an 86.1 crit chance. So what you could effectively do is you could strip the armor from the enemy. Like, you have a 100% status chance on your secondary fire, and then you can go with the crit build to deal more damage, like direct damage to the enemy whenever he has no armor, right? So what I normally do is I would spawn this guy in like so, and then just to show you guys how this plays, you go up to him, make sure you get as close as possible, press the button, press it a few more times, or you can just, you know, keep on using the buckshot. Not strip all of his armor. That's all of his armor gone. You know, that's like, what, 2 magazines maybe? 1 magazine and 1 more, like 6 bullets or something from the buckshot, and then that guy's dead. You know what I mean? So it's super crazy how good that weapon is. So let's just try it headshots only. You know what I mean? This guy is more or less dead right now. You just let the status procs kill him. The status procs, the slash procs, just murder him. You know, it's a crazy weapon. You can also, again, like I said, use the crit build for it. Just shoot the head. Got insane damage. So let's see how this plays. Like so. You know, of course it's a less effective, but if you wanted to build another Yafuna and go full crit, I guarantee you this here would be such a better build, because you'd have your crit damage mods on here. I at the minute only have my crit chance, which goes up to 86%. But if you're the build in the second Yafuna Prime and have the crit build on there, it would be super awesome. It would just murder that guy with a single shot. But I like the buckshot because I find myself only ever using secondaries whenever I need to kill like a target who's not dying from my primary. So, you know, the Yafuna, in my opinion, is the way to go. That guy just died, you know what I mean? It's proc corrosive way too much there, so it just murdered him. So It's a super RNG type thing at the same time with what status effects you're gonna get, but at the same time it just feels so satisfying to just murder guys within like a couple shots with whatever weapon. So, you know, there you go, and you just pop him and then he's dead once all of his armor's gone. So if you ever come across an enemy that has a shit ton of armor, you just want to strip it down, bring out your phone out, shoot him out 3 or 4 times, shoot him in the head, and then he's gonna be dead. It's just a great weapon in my opinion. So you can, again, like I said, use the build that I showed you in this video, or you can go ahead and make a crit build. So that'd be basically just your hydraulic crosshair build, which we've been using a shit ton in this video as well. So I just want to get my Bastille up here. Here we go. Please no kill, please no kill. There we go. Just come with this guy. Bap, 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 bap. And you can probably just kill him with those slash procs right there. Hopefully, maybe. Let's find out. Let's do a test. This is an experiment right now. Will you die? Okay, maybe not. Do it again. Will you die now? Probably not, because they don't last that long, but whatever. Just kill him. There you go. Super fun weapons to use, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button below. And you want to see more Warframe content from me, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.